Good day everyone, I'm Noel John Pepito here to discuss a part of the topic about codes for database security. To start, we need to create a user, and to do that, we need to type the following codes. Create user if not exists, the username, in this case our first user is named Michael. Then the @ sign, after that the directory for the database, we use localhost, followed by the statement identified by pass or the password. Keep in mind that the username, the database directory, and the password needs to be inside the quotation mark, and the statement if not exist is not required, but is instead a convention so that our codes are error-proof. After that, you can go back to the home page and create your new connections with the same username and password if you placed any. Next is granting privileges to users. To start, we type the following code, grant all, meaning they can do all kinds of statements. On asterisk, the first asterisk denotes all databases and the second one denotes all tables, followed by the username at localhost, and the optional statement with grant option. So on our example, the username Michael can do all statements in any table on any databases. The username Shanine can do all statements on any table that is on TB Hospital. Username Noel can do all statements but only on TBL patients of TB Hospital. And username Jester can only do select and update statements on the TBL patients of TB Hospital. Next, to view the privileges that we granted on the users, we type the following. Show grants for username at localhost. It returns a result grid where you can view all the privileges that the selected user currently have. To revoke privileges, we simply put revoke select update or any statements that you want to revoke. Next, on DB hospital.tbl patient, which is the same database the table identifier. Finally, from username at localhost. After executing the revoke, we can show the updated privileges of the user by using the show grant statement. To drop a user, simply put drop user username at localhost. When a user is dropped, you can no longer open or create SQL connections with the same username.
To create the role, we must code create role if not exist doctor, nurse, and patient. Kaya if not exist kasi if wala pang doctor na role, ang gagawin niya it's either yung nurse or yung patient. Let's check if nagana ba by highlighting what we code. So, pag nag-red means mali and if nag-green means tama ginawa natin. The next thing that we're going to do is give privileges on the role that we created. By granting it, we must put grant all on asterisk to doctor. So, grant all means bibigyan natin ng privileges lahat ng role on both tables and database to doctor na role. Then, the next one naman is grant all uli on DB hospital and TBL patient sa nurse na role. Then, lastly, grant, select, and update sa DB Hospital and TBL patient sa patient na role. So, to see if you create the right code for granting privileges to role, let's check by highlighting from grant all to patients. So, ayan, na green means grant na siya yung mga role that we created. So, for granting role to user naman, we are going to put grant, then yung role, to what name of the user you are going to give the grant with. So, in our database, for one role to one user, we put grant, then yung role, which is the doctor, to Michael at localhost. It's only one user and one role. Then, for one role to multiple user, we put again the grant, then yung role which is the nurse naman, to Shanine at localhost and Noel at localhost. This is a multiple user since I mentioned two names or username. Then, lastly, for multiple role, to one user naman, we create grant, name ng roles which are patient and nurse, to jester at localhost. So in this code, we mention two roles and one user only.
To show the grants for a role, simply input the syntax show grants for and the name of the role. To show the grants for a user using a role, input the syntax show grants for then name of the user at localhost using the specified role of the user. This will let you know the grants of the user while having a role. Revoking roles is similar to revoking privileges. Simply input the syntax revoke and the grant of the role on the database period the table from the specified role. Dropping roles is as easy as inputting the username and the roles of the user. This will remove the roles and privileges of the user with a specific role.